Good morning. Welcome to life on board Amy Joe. But we're not where we left you. We've actually moved and
to Nantwich.
to Nantwich. Well, we've come all the way up the Shropshire Union because we filmed it all the way down and there's no point doing it again. So we've now concluded our summer cruise. This is the end of the summer cruise, but that's not the end of the story, is it?
No, a new journey is just beginning.
Yep. Only this time it's slightly different because we're going to be travelling with friends.
Yeah.
So our good friend Ian and Carol on Morning Star, and also our new friends Terry and Tracy.
No,
Simon and Tracy. I do beg your pardon.
Simon
and Tracy on Home Free
with
their newly painted boat. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Yeah. So, are we going to go straight on and up towards Chester, or are we going to do a left onto the Clangothlon?
You'll have to wait and see.
You'll have to watch the vlog to find out. See you soon. When we last left you, we were moored just on the southern end of the Shropshire Union Canal by Llangollen Junction. Since then, we've taken several days to work our way the full length of the Shropshire Union up as far as Nantwich. We were met by our good friends Tracy and Simon as we were closing in on their home mooring, so they offered to come and help us down through the Swanley Locks. If it's good enough for Mummy to have a rest on the lock beam, I don't see why I can't. We then continued our descent down through the Locks, moored up at the visitor moorings by the Shroppy Fly. It was here that we'd agreed to meet our good friend Ian from Narrowboat Tales and his new partner Carol for a meal in the Shroppy Fly, and a lovely meal it was too. This morning we needed to fill up with water, so we got the hose out because while we're at the Shroppy Fly there's a water point here. But we did have to move the boat forward 4 feet because the hose didn't quite reach. We didn't move the boat because we were staying there overnight, and of course we didn't want to lose the mooring. But it does now. Next morning we took the two boats, Morning Star and Amy Joe, and carried on to Nantwich. We went into town for some shopping and then carried on our cruise towards Hurlston, where we turned and went up the Hurlston flight and eventually stopped at Wrenbury Heath, just short of Wrenbury. Nantwich Aqueduct was constructed around 1826 with Thomas Telford as the engineer. Telford designed several aqueducts on the Shropshire Union and other canals using cast iron troughs. The Nantwich example is one of 3 by Telford with similar design. The others are at Clangothlon, also in Cheshire, and Stretton in Staffordshire. Restoration work was carried out in 2015 and the project won the Restoration and Historic Environment category of the Canal and River Trust's Living Waterways Awards in 2016. Well, after a short stop for some diesel and some a pump out and get rid of the rubbish, all the usuals, we're now underway. We're just leaving Nantwich. We're coming up to Nantwich, or we're just past Nantwich Marina. The boat behind is Ian on Narrowboat Tales, So he's following. Chris is down below making a much needed cup of tea, and that's her words, not mine. And we're just going to take it nice and slow because Simon and Tracy on Home Free are still on the services having diesel, and they need to pull in for water as well. So just going to have a nice steady tick over cruise, waiting for them to catch up. I don't know if you can pick it up from this distance, but you might just be able to make out an orange blob. That's a bit unfair because it's a person on a narrowboat coming down the Hurlstone flight. The top there, the little cottage in the far distance, is the top of the locks. And coming down just through the bridge ahead is the Turnip Junction. Ian and Carol are right behind us, and we've just got word Simon and Tracy are catching us up. They're on their way as well. The Clangothlon Canal, or the Ellesmere Canal as it was originally known, rises through the 4 Hurlstone locks, which raise the level of the canal by 34 feet or 10 metres, beyond which the canal is crossed by the A51 road. To the north of the locks is Hurlstone Reservoir, which is filled by water which passes along the canal from Horseshoe Falls at Llantysilio. As well as supplying the canal, the reservoir is used for drinking water. It holds 85 million gallons, or 390 millilitres, and around 12 million gallons, 55 millilitres, flow along the canal each day to supply it. Hurlstone Bottom Lock was part of a major reconstruction project a few years ago when the wall on the left started to bow in and it was threatening to collapse into the lock itself. Subsequent repair works revealed that the lock had been leaking for many years and was eroding the soil away from the side of the backside of the wall. It's now been repaired and re-bricked up and is now back in use. Well, we made the turn. We weren't sure whether we were going to. We've just had a bit of a traffic jam outside as a shareboat came through, and the helmswoman, or man, I couldn't work out what it was, had no clue whatsoever, and nearly head-oned Ian on Morningstar in the bridge hole. So, but we're now in the Hurlstone Bottom Lock, heading up, so you now know where we're headed. To let the next one up.
Yeah, but the boat's coming down, so you won't be able to go any further than here for the moment.
Alright, so shall I tell him to stay down there?
Yeah, stay down there.
Alright, mate.
So we're on your way through, yeah. So that you're going to have to hold those up.
A little bit of a hold up while we waited for a boat to come down the locks, but there's 5 of us now coming up. We're now in the second lock, and the volunteer locky up there is getting the next lock ready for us. The thing with Hurlstone Locks is it's quite a busy junction. Lots of boats come and go on the Clangothlon every day, as many as 80 boats can pass through the locks in one single day. So obviously we had to wait our turn like everybody else. The pounds at Hurlstone are generally quite short between the locks, and there is only just room for Amy Jo to manoeuvre around the boat coming out of the lock above it for us to get into the next lock. As you'll see, it was quite a tight turn. Well, that's it. Amy Jo's in the top lock of the Hurlstone flight. Ian is just going into the lock below. And poor Simon and Tracy are in the queue way down the bottom there. You can just see the white boat down there. That's them. There's 2 boats between them before they can come up. So I think we're going to stop and let them catch up. Well, we're back underway again. Simon and Tracy behind us have managed to catch up. Ian's leading the way up front. And Chris...
Is he eating lemon drizzle cake?
He's eating Tracy's rather tasty and yummy lemon drizzle cake. just reached our second set of locks. This is Swanley Locks. Somebody's just got the lock ready for us by the look of it, so Ian can go straight in. So this is Swanley bottom lock. Ian's in the lock going up. I think there's a boat waiting to come down, and then it's our turn. And the second of the two Swanley locks, and the last. Just the three Badley locks ahead of us, and then Wrenbury. But we're not quite sure whether we're actually going to make Wrenbury yet. Going's a bit slower than we anticipated, so we'll see how it goes. Well, today is turning out to be a lovely cruise. We couldn't ask for better weather, could we?
Could you expect this in October?
Yeah, who'd have thought we'd be in t-shirts this time of the year, in October especially. It's warm. Even the wind has got some warmth in it for a change. And it's just
lovely.
idyllic. There's hardly any wind, just a little bit, a little breeze. And what could you ask for? We're on a lovely canal. Probably one of the best in the UK, but I dare say your comment in the comments as to your preference, but there you go.
It's our favourite, isn't it?
It's our
So
favourite,
far.
anyway. This is CNRT's new technology, a level monitor. They can remotely monitor the level in the pound here, and that black box is the telemetry sent back via a telephone sim. This is the last of the three Badley locks. We've finally got through the one with the dodgy paddle, and we're going to start looking for a mooring after this lock. I think Ian's found somewhere. So we'll just see where he's found.
Oh, I've got to have me drink.
You got to have a drink, there you go. Well, we've just moored up just short of Wrenbury because we think the moorings are filling up, so we found a nice little mooring spot just before Wrenbury.
Where did he say?
And we're all sat here.
Cheers.
Having a drink.
Dun, dun.
See you next time.